Hi folks, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So, what is the topic that we will be looking into today? Burevestnik missile, which is Russia's nuclear powered weapon, and how is it going to be changing the arms race? This is what we will be discussing in the course of the video today. Now, first and foremost, what do we know about this missile? Russia recently has tested Burevestnik, a nuclear powered cruise missile. Vladimir Putin, Russia's president himself, has called this weapon with unlimited range and unpredictable path. Now, with this entry of testing, okay, your US President Donald Trump has told that they will also be starting that nuclear testing. We have not been sure what exactly does he mean by that, but does this mean that this is a period or return of your nuclear competition among the major powers? And also, this sets the stage for, is there going to be another global arms race? Okay, why do we feel like this? We will decode that in the course of the video. First and foremost, let's see the background. Your Burevestnik has been called as storm petrel, which means, do you see the bird? This bird is usually known for predicting that a storm is coming. So, this particular missile is called as Burevestnik, which is considered as the storm petrel, which means the storm is approaching, more like a warning system. Initially, this was announced in 2018 as a part of Russia's new strategic arsenal, and this has been called by NATO as SSC X9 Skyfall. One speciality about this missile is not only can it carry a nuclear warhead, but it is also run through your nuclear power. It does not use your chemical fuel because it is attached with a small nuclear reactor. It can run theoretically forever. By we mean theoretically forever. Your let's say your normal missiles are bound by your chemical fuel, which affects it for a shorter period of time, but this is for up until, let's say, the materials run out or based on the feasibility, so it has a longer range. So when they started in 2017, it was announced, so formally it started in 2018. The earlier tests were mostly just failing, so much so that in 2019 it led, okay, to more of 5 nuclear scientists who were working on this were killed. Finally, we can see Putin honoring the wives again, even though it was not told which, based on which test was it this nuclear tragedy happened. But he did mention that that the scientists, whatever they were working on, it was unparalleled. There was no match for that. So it was unmatched. So finally, 2025 test which conducted, in this, it has been held that this particular missile ran for 14,000 kilometers range and its flight time was 15 hours. Now let's see the technical features of this missile. First and foremost, it is a low flying cruise missile. Compared to the other missiles, supersonic missiles, they are of high fly range, but this is a low flying cruise missile and it has nuclear propulsion. That is, it is powered by a miniaturized nuclear reactor for the fuel. That is, when air hits it, it uses that air to generate the thrust. Okay, that will be used as a thrust for the engine, and this works on the nuclear ramjet principle. So when we tell it is of unlimited range, that is because there is no chemical fuel needed, which means it doesn't have to stop in between. Next, we said tell it is an unpredictable trajectory is because it is very hard to intercept. Okay, unlike the other missiles. And this is not a very new concept that it has come for the first time. It has already been worked in your US based on your US project Pluto in 1960s. But that was not considered to move ahead because of the feasibility, storage issues and also other complications. Now, before we move ahead with the other features, we have a small announcement from Legacy IS Academy. For those of you who want to kickstart your UPSC civil service journey, look no further. You have found the right spot with Legacy IS Academy, which maintains its batch strides at strictly 40 members per limit so as to provide you individualized attention and guidance. We also provide one-on-one mentorship, easy access to educators, daily mains answer writing challenge, and also your 360-degree current affairs sessions. Alongside this, we also provide CSAT training with IIT professional, and at the same point of time, we conduct our sessions in both offline as well as online mode. Now, for those of you who are working professionals and students, we also conduct our sessions in weekend courses. For more information, check out Legacy IS Academy website or contact the number given. If you want to see how the classes are run by yourself, then you can schedule a demo class either online or offline. Now, coming back to the safety and test challenges. See, first and foremost, when a series of tests were started in 2017 onwards, there was a lot of failed tests. How do we know there was a lot of failed tests? One was your 2019 explosion, which caused a radiation leak in your White Sea region. Second thing is in your Arctic regions, that is your Norway, there was a lot of iodine 131 isotopes detected, which confirmed that okay, a nuclear reactor is put in the involvement. And also, this was an indication that this could lead to a higher environmental and safety risk. Okay, and also, still at that point of time, it was being very uncertain. Now, when it has come into picture, this has one strategic significance as to when Russia is doing, how is USA keeping quiet? Don't we have the START treaty? That is where the strategic significance will come. Just USA, that is your NATO strategic dominance. So much so that if you see, Donald Trump himself has claimed that in the arms, the first position is held by your USA, second is by Russia, and third, very distant third, is your China. Okay, this more of brings your Cold War deterrence techniques back into picture. Now, because we're speaking about arms control, we will be discussing about your START treaty. See, first of all, START means Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. Now, the new START treaty, which was signed initially, the first START was signed in 1993. It came into effect from 1994, or more like, so it was during your disintegration, 1991, and then it came to your effect. So, what happened? The new START treaty was signed in 2010 between USA and Russia, which limits both countries for 1550 warheads and 700 launchers. Now, Russia had suspended the participation in 2023, and also one important thing is recently your Russian President Vladimir Putin told that voluntarily they will consider it extending for one more year, for which US President Donald Trump told that's a good start. But what is the importance here means? Your new START treaty does not cover your Burevestnik, which means this does not come under your formal treaty definitions. Which means technically Russia has not broken any formal violation. Okay, but this will become your arms control framework. Now, how is the world viewing to this? The US and NATO are showing concerns, and that is why they've told they will also be starting the nuclear testing. Your China is silent, but it is also wanting its hand on an advancement of similar technology, especially when your US president told that your China is far distant. And this raises questions over our nuclear proliferation treaty, disarmament goals, and is this is a renewed spike with regard to nuclear competition. Let's see a comparison with the existing missiles. Now, when we will take the comparison of Burevestnik, ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, and hypersonic missiles. If you see the propulsion, the Burevestnik uses nuclear reactor, whereas your ICBMs and your hypersonic missile uses chemical fuel, which means they have limited range. Whereas your Burevestnik has unlimited range. Your altitude, if you see, Burevestnik has a low altitude compared to ICBM, which is a high altitude, and hypersonic missile is a mid range. The detection, when we said unpredictable, this is very hard to predict your Burevestnik, whereas it is very easy to predict your ICBMs, and it is in a moderate capability with respect to hypersonic. So, whether is it covered under the START treaty, ICBMs are covered, your hypersonic missiles remaining in an ambiguous position, but your Burevestnik is outside your START treaty. What are the environmental and ethical issues involved? Again, like we saw, there are a lot of radiation risk from the crash sites. It will be a threat to the Arctic ecosystem, and also this would be a possible venture and worry into possible long-term radioactive pollution. And this will also bring us the question as to whether there will be ethical usage of nuclear technology. So this will be a more of research versus your innovation versus your responsibility. Now, how is it, let's say, from India's perspective, how we will look at this topic? First and foremost, this showcases the next generation nuclear weapon system that are coming in, and also see, India must enhance its military defense capabilities at the same point of time, still trying to maintain its no first use policy, and we are using it only for your deterrence. But again, here our credibility is in our no first use policy. We have to continue with that, but at the same point of time, we also have to update, and we have to make sure that India maintains technological vigilance and preparedness so as to make sure that yes, India is going to maintain no first use, at the same point go for technical innovation. So on the whole, your Burevestnik is a new frontier with regarding to nuclear weapons. It combines the nuclear strength, that is your unlimited range, stealth and predictability, and it brings in the global deterrence balance. So, it is very easier to tell every leap in new weapon technology reshapes the world's security. Question like as of now it is, and it was also during your Cold War period of time. What is a possible question that we can expect from this topic? Examine how nuclear powered cruise missiles like Russia's Burevestnik affects global arms control and strategic stability. Here is where you will be discussing about the START treaty and how your US is responding, that it will also start nuclear testing, is all the things we should be discussing. With this, we come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it along with your friends. Thank you.